Today we are learning about some new supplies that we are going to add to our table studios. So the first supplies we are adding are going to the collage studio. There's going to be a bin of fun paper that you can use to cut and glue now. There's pictures of things, there's sparkly paper, fuzzy paper, bright paper, and you can cut and glue them however you want to. So instead of just having our colored paper, we now have our fun paper too. The next art supply we're adding is modeling clay. And modeling clay is going to be at the sculpture studio. So when you're doing modeling clay, you need a bag of clay. You can use popsicle sticks if you want to. You always need to work on top of a placemat. And then we also have this shape card that shows you lots of different shapes that you can make with the modeling clay. So you can make whatever you want with modeling clay. You do not get to take modeling clay home. At the end, you squish it up and put it back in the bag. Just a reminder, you don't get to take it home. Okay, another supply that we are adding is chalk. And chalk cups are going to be at the drawing studio. Chalk is super fun to draw with. It's a little messy, but it's really fun. You can color with chalk on white paper or even colored paper. So with chalk, you're going to draw or color just like you would with any other drawing supply. And then a cool thing about chalk is you can actually use your finger to smear it and blend it. So you can use one color, you can use two colors, you can blend the colors together. Right? It's super fun. You can also do, like I said, on black paper, and it shows up really cool on black paper. So you can draw lines like this, and then you can smear it to see what it looks like. You can try to make shapes look 3D by putting chalk on one side of them and then blending it like that. Okay, so that's chalk. When you're done with chalk, you can wash your hands because it does get pretty messy. The last art supply we're going to talk about today is going to be at the fiber studio, and that is going to be paper weaving. So for paper weaving, you need, we're going to call these the looms, and then you also need lots of strips of paper. These are going to be, again, at the fiber studio. So you're going to take your loom and this dotted line, you're going to fold your paper in half on that dotted line. So I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to fold it on that line. It's basically just in the middle of the paper. You want to make sure you can see these lines. Okay. These lines you need to cut. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to follow that black line and I'm going to stop when I get to the mark at the end. So you're going to cut all of these slits in your loom, making sure to stop at the line. If you need help with this stuff, just raise your hand and I can help you. Okay, cut all the slits. Then you're going to open it up like this, and this is your loom. This side of the loom where you can see my black lines is actually the back of the loom. So we can turn it over like this so we have a nice clean piece of paper. Then you're going to start weaving your paper strips. Okay, so when you weave in a pattern. So the pattern is over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. So you're just going to pull that piece of paper all the way through to the other side, going in an over, under pattern. And then you can slide it down there. And then you're going to get another piece of paper Now with this piece of paper, you need to do the opposite of what you did in the line before. So if I look at this pink piece of paper, I went over this first row. So for this next one, I need to do the opposite of that. So I need to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, just like that. Okay, see how it's opposite? And then I'm going to show you one more row. So I'm looking, I went under, so I'm going to do the opposite and go over this time. So over, under, over, oops, let's see, over, under, over, under, over. It should start to look, whoops, like a checkerboard. So you can see here, I skipped one. Okay, so you can always go back, pull it back out, and then smush it down. So you can keep going until you fill up your whole loom.